Do you pride yourself as a know-it-all? Do you feel like you know more than the average Joe? Maybe so, but the world is filled with so many interesting things that it's impossible to discover or experience them all. Don't believe us? Wait until you see this list of 12 things you didn't know 5 minutes ago. Prepare to discover the boundaries of your knowledge and hopefully expand it through these interesting finds we have in store for you. Ever gone fishing and managed to reel in a pair of boots or a piece of discarded bottle? While fishing is quite enjoyable and rewarding for the patient one, catching old junk instead of a prized catch is also a part of it. The next time you manage to catch this fella, don't be quick to throw it back in thinking it's some discarded artifact. This blue catch is in fact a type of fish called the lingcod, or known by its scientific name, Ophiodon elongatus. This unique fish is found in the northeastern Pacific Ocean and would catch most anglers by surprise. I mean, just look at it. Where else have you seen a blue fish? If you're thinking the fish turned blue because of some chemical contamination in the ocean, then you're wrong. Scientists have figured out that this blue tinge comes from a pigment called biliverdin. This pigment is responsible for turning the blood serum from a greenish turquoise to blue. One thing still remains a mystery though. Science is not able to explain why this biliverdin pigment turns the flesh blue. Apparently, this interesting mutation only happens with 20% of this species. Next time you come across this beauty, you can be sure it's a lingcod. Do you dream about popcorn? Well, the island of Fuerteventura, one of the Canary Islands in the Atlantic Ocean, should be your next destination. Miles of endless popcorn spread across the beach. This sight would tempt any popcorn lover to dive in and swim in it. But hate to break it to you, they're not really popcorn. Although they look convincingly so. What you're seeing are dead algae. Well, the skeleton of it at least. During the lifespan of these plants, they accumulate calcium carbonate in their shells, which are called spheroidal concentrations. Once the algae die, these small calcareous balls get carried by the waves and finally land up on the beach as you see here. Unfortunately, they're not edible, though they are quite the sight to see. Nature is so incredible, some of the treasures it holds are just unbelievable. See this beauty, for example. Looks like an expensive golden jewelry, but you'll be surprised to find out it's neither gold nor jewelry. Though priceless purely because of its beauty, it is actually the cocoon of a type of butterfly called the Tithoria harmonia. This species is found mostly in South and Central America, and what a magical thing to stumble upon. Imagine walking into the woods studded with hundreds of these shimmering golden cocoons all around you. Nature certainly knows how to pull out all the stops when it comes to creation. Buying new winter clothes is always a hassle since you can never really trial run it before making a purchase. Most people stock up on winter wear before winter, so there's no way of knowing if what you bought works for you. Is it too cold or is it too warm? Some of the questions you might find yourself asking and won't have them answered until and unless you can walk out of the store and test it out in the cold winter. Thankfully, this conundrum has been fixed by the geniuses at Mark's Work Warehouse. The marketing experts have devised a chamber which can simulate winter conditions right inside the store. The chamber allows you to test out the windproof qualities of the winter jacket that you're planning to buy. It also allows you to manipulate the temperature as low as 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that's cool. While most of us don't have the stomach to eat bugs and insects as seen on challenge-based TV shows, we actually do end up eating a lot of them inadvertently. I know this is probably something you didn't want to hear, but hear us out. Based on some estimates, a person accidentally consumes about 14 ounces of various bugs every year. Shocking, but it's true. In this experiment, you can see a bunch of strawberries being submerged in a bowl of water and later coated with salt. This isn't a unique recipe, but if you continue watching, you can see these tiny white worm-like things popping out of the berries. They are in fact the larvae of the spotted common fruit fly. So, how does it get inside the berries? Well, when the time comes for the female to lay her egg, she chooses the pulp of berries like strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, peaches, cherries, or grapes. Once the fruit is fully ripe, these flies emerge from the inside. Does this change the way you look at berries from now on? Traveling can be an exhausting affair, especially if your pets are accompanying you. A lot of pet owners usually have hundreds of different worries running through their mind while traveling, and most are related to potty breaks for the pets. Since this was a recurring problem, the United States government passed a federal ordinance which obliged all airports with an intake of more than 10,000 passengers a year to have animal assistance zones. The ordinance states that a small area with artificial turf will do the job. The O'Hare International Airport in Chicago took it a bit further by providing pets with a 2x4-foot room with an artificial grass and other amenities to keep the pets comfortable and at home. They also provide 3 different outdoor areas with grass, gravel and wood chips for them to play around and stretch their legs in between flying. Sounds like a real treat for the furry ones. Ads are everywhere. In fact, you might come across an ad while watching this video. The world runs on ads and it's impossible to escape them. Marketers are always coming up with new and clever ways to sell their products and services. It seems the marketing department for Old Spice took it a whole new level. This 14-hour-long ad promoting Old Spice took the viewers of Woohoo channel in Brazil by surprise. The ad ran throughout the night without a break and viewers caught the ad even in the morning. The ad kept saying, "Smell amazing forever," and after a while the tagline gets stuck in your head. Probably just what they intended. Old Spice was certainly not lazy enough to play the same ad over and over again, but actually made 1,600 clips and mixed them using combinatorial analysis. So 14 hours of ad but with different scenes and people. Quite impressive and exhausting. Twitter took the world by storm when it was first introduced in 2006. With its unique character limit format, it made concise and precise communication possible. While most of us are familiar with their 280 character limit, we rarely question the bird in the logo. It's not like Twitter endorses anything related to the avian species. Well, the answer that was revealed by co-founder Biz Stone, and a surprising one. Biz is a big fan of the Boston Celtics and naturally was a huge fan of NBA legend Larry Bird. Yes, the bird came from that name. Probably not what you'd expect, but now you know. If there's a standing straight competition, these pink flamingos will always win. What might be surprising to most is these birds have almost no muscles on their legs. Puzzled by their stamina to stand for long periods of time, scientists delved a bit deeper to find some answers. Guess what they found? They discovered that not only can flamingos stand straight while asleep, but a dead flamingo can continue standing the same way. Pretty shocking, right? What lets them pull off this incredible stunt is the structure of their skeleton. Like us, they too have two joints in their legs, one of them being the ankle and the other one being the knee. The knee is harder to find since it's hidden away inside. With its unique bone structure, the flamingo uses its other leg, bends the knee, and gets a point of support while standing. And here's the shocking reveal. Flamingos don't stand, they actually sit, because of how they use their other leg in conjunction with its knee. Pretty cool. Bedbugs are probably our biggest nocturnal nightmare. Not only do they ruin our sleep, but their bites result in rashes and other allergic reactions. Last year, a group of scientists from the Dresden University of Technology wanted to learn more about these nightly pests by compiling a detailed family tree. They relied on the DNA of 30 species along with common bedbugs. What they discovered was surprising. The analysis showed that these bugs have existed along with the dinosaurs and are believed to be around 115 million years old. That's 115 million years of twisting and turning during sleep across all species. Ever wondered what those huge bulges found on trees are? It looks like the trees are storing food for winter in a pouch. These are actually tree bud tissues which never sprouted into leaves or into branches and are called a burl. This happens sometimes when the tree's hormones get disrupted after going through some kind of stressor like a virus attack, injury or fungal infection. But there's little to worry about since burls don't cause any issues to the tree in any way. The largest burl was found in Australia in 1984 on a eucalyptus tree and was about 6.5 feet tall. That's huge.
A firework can be beautiful even without exploding. A waterfall of flashes also looks magical.
Just have a look at this strange sighting. Almost looks like a tree in a video game which failed to load its textures in time. Well, it's true that it is a tree, but they're not quite the normal ones. These are lindens. What you're seeing is a tree covered in protective nets. These nets are not for the protection of the tree, but for the bees who visit them frequently. The canopy of the tree was sprayed down with pesticides against aphids, which are equally deadly to the helpful bees. As a protective measure, the caretakers took the extra effort of masking the entire tree with these nets. Needless to say, the bees are fine and will have access to these trees soon enough. You may think this girl's foot is backward facing as a result of some gory accident, but the reality is quite different. This formation of her limb is completely intentional as she underwent a rotationoplasty. This is a surgery which is done when a young child requires the removal of a section of their leg because of bone cancer. Now, instead of amputating the whole limb and leaving them with a stump, the surgeon rotates the intact foot and reattached it to the thigh. This may seem like a procedure from a medical horror movie, but it's actually quite real and useful, as the backwards-facing foot acts as a knee joint and its nerves keep providing stimuli to the brain, therefore helping the patient achieve better degrees of balance with the help of specialized prosthesis. A conversation about human body horrors would be incomplete without the legs of pro cyclists. Just look at these demonic legs of Paul Polanski that were photographed after he finished the 16th stage of Tour de France in 2017. These extra dilated veins you see here are because the muscles demand extra large amounts of oxygenated blood. The dilation increases the blood flow to these muscles to as high as 9 gallons of blood flowing through his legs per minute. That's the price you pay for being a professional athlete. This spiderweb of veins has us terribly aware of our veins. What about you guys? One of the most unpleasant feelings on earth is when some speck of dust gets into your eye and no matter what you do, you just can't remove it. Only water stuck in your ear after active diving could possibly be worse than that. But in the vastness of the internet, there is a place for any madness. A few years ago, for example, there was a flash mob on Instagram in which a whole crowd of enthusiasts shoved all kinds of stuff into their eyes, from paper clips to sparkles and cotton swabs. How does that make you feel? Let's be honest, some of the pictures do look pretty, but most of them make you shudder rather than experience aesthetic ecstasy. We hope that no one was hurt during these crazy experiments. After all, it's not that difficult to damage your eyesight doing these kinds of things. Ever dreamt of touching a cloud? I have. In Dakar, Morocco, residents woke up to some very interesting wonder. The sky seemed to have fallen in. Huge foam-like clouds fell from the clouds and were moving along the roads. It seemed a bit uncertain that this was the same cloud that is up in the sky. So where did it come from? This is a mystery scientists can't decipher just yet. Maybe it's a sign that the planet was going into chaos slowly but surely. Our world has a very high percentage of water. Many countries are separated by the biggest oceans where nations have been engaging in trade amongst themselves for eons. In the world today, the demand for goods is even bigger. For this reason, we now build big ships that haul the goods from one location to the other. From military vehicles to freight carriers, these gigantic ships can be the size of 3 football fields. It's also deep enough to house a 5-story building and can haul tons of cargo over the longest of distances with very little struggle. Question is, how are these massive ships built? Well, we can't make them in the water, so they're made in shipyards. The next step after they're built is to figure out how they can get into the water. Humans have come up with a few innovations around this. Different methods are used for the ship launch and can be categorized into 3 categories. 1. Longitudinal oiled slideway launching. 2. Longitudinal steel roller slideway launching. And side oiled launching. All this is a joy to observe. This massive carrier requires a village to build and another village to launch successfully. Humans have been at it for a while now and have mastered their craft. How was that for a list of crazy things to witness from all over the world? We bet some of them took you by surprise. Let us know in the comments which was the most surprising of them all. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, be sure to smash the like button, share and subscribe for more. Goodbye.